Hello YouTube world, it is Liam the Deaf Doom Metal doing my top 40 albums for the end of the year. Why 40 is because I've picked up 40 new albums this year. A few more on top of that, but these are the 40 I thought would be worth mentioning. And I've listened to them a fair bit, and I've kind of ranked them by my preference of how many times I've listened to it, and is it musically more interesting than the other band that might sound similar to it, and that kind of thing. And it's a varied list, so hopefully you'll get a kick out of it. I'm going to show 10 today, and then I'll do a part 2, part 3, and then the finale. I'll show my top 10 albums for the year. So, kicking off at number 40 is Candleness with The Pendulum. Sorry about the light today. It's so dark here, so I can't really do much about it. This came out back in March, and I was really excited because I really like the title track, The Pendulum, and that is the reason I went and got this. But the reason it's so low is because the rest of them were demos, and it really fell short for me. The second track sounds like a Sabbath song, and then they're just like tiny little instrumentals, like a minute long, and then a demo of a track that was put out by another band that Leaf did. So, nothing too exciting. Title track sounds amazing. Should have been on the main album. So yeah, number 40, can't talk. Number 39 is a live album from this year, believe it or not, and that is Autopsy, live in Chicago. This was actually recorded this year, and I believe they had planned to do a tour and then pick the best tracks from each section of that tour, but they only did the one show before COVID kicked in. This came out back in October through Peaceville, and yeah, a solid live album. But the reason I featured it on my list is because it's got one brand new unheard track, which I think is Maggots in the Mirror. I'm pretty sure it's the one. I didn't double check. So yeah, really, really good live album. You know what you're going to get with Autopsy. Brutal, really slow and doomy sections in there, which I love. And yeah, a quality live album. Number 38 is a self-titled release from a band here in the UK. And that is Raven God with the self-titled album. This came out in November, and a band that reached out to me ages ago to check this stuff out. I listened to it and I really enjoyed it, so I made sure I got myself a copy. So this is a one-man black metal project. It is very early Bathory worship here, and very much a nod to the early 90s Norwegian scene with that Nordic kind of vibe they were thrown in. It's solid. Production isn't the best, but then for a one-man project, self-release, and the style of music, it all does kind of fit. And some tracks don't really do it for me, but there's quite a few on here that do. And there's some fantastic riffs on here if you sit through it and listen to it all the way through. So I really enjoyed that. That's Raven God. Looking forward to what he does next, or she. I don't know who it is. Number 37 was a EP that was released last year, but this year they put out the CD version because it was only on cassette before that. That is the two-man project from Hungary, I think they're from, Rothadas. Now this band was introduced to me by someone in my comment section who said, I reckon you'll like this, and they were spot on. This is fucking amazing. Death Doom, very much a nod to Hooded Menace, that kind of style, but the problem I have with this is only 2 tracks. One's 7 minutes, one's 8 minutes, and they're brilliant, love them to death, but I put this on the CD player, and before I know it I have to change it because it's already finished. So I really want some more music from these guys, but I put them at number 37 because I felt it was stronger than the ones I've shown before. But yeah, need more music from these guys. Number 36 is a band I've played with before, and they are from Newcastle here in the UK. Really good band. And this is the full length put out through Transcending Obscurity, Live Burials, Unending Fertility. This came out in April this year, obviously. This year, they're all 2020, dickhead. But yeah, this is like early Asphyx, early Pestilence, that kind of vibe. Very much in the vein of that old school, very fast death metal style with the razor sharp guitars, fast attacking lyrics, that kind of thing. Not a fan of these shiny cases that Transcending Obscurity put out. I don't know why they have to do that, but there you go. But yeah, a really good album, very fun, and some wicked riffs on here, so worth checking out. So that's my number 36. Number 35 was another album that kind of fell short for me in a way, style-wise, like the Candleness EP, and that is Demon and Wizards with Free. This came out back in February through Century Media. And yeah, I mean, I really liked The Crimson King. I love that album actually. Really fast, really melodic, but also has got some really slow sections in there. This is a lot more mature, and you can see their age on this album a lot. You know, they're chilling out a bit more. It's more melodic, more slower builds. You know, not as fast as any of the things they do in their other bands. But yeah, it's a good album, but you know, it wasn't as strong as I thought it was going to be. But again, very enjoyable, but it's quite long as well for me. So yeah, number 35. Number 34 is another self-release from a band here in the UK. This is Cult Burial, with their self-titled that they released on vinyl and CD, which is quite cool. Blackened Death Doom, that kind of vibe is what I get off this album. Very, very strong musically. Love the riffs on there. Vocally, it's got that kind of black metal, kind of bitey kind of vibe to it. And some of the solos and, you know, the lead work on here is very much a nod to black metal style. But yeah, really, really good self-release. I really enjoyed this, so looking forward to what this band put out in the future. Very much on my radar now. Cult Burial. And then number 33, another band that, you know, musically it isn't really doing anything different. And this said musician, his style of music he plays, he can put out 4 or 5 albums a year and they pretty much all sound similar in some way. And that is Roger Johnson's Revolting, with the latest Shadow at the World's End, sorry. This is another Transcending Obscurity release, as you can tell, because it's got that blooming shiny kind of cover. But this one's weird, it's got that kind of sandpaper texture here on the path, and then here is embossed. It's a matte finish. And yeah, you know, don't get me wrong, they put a lot of effort into their LPs and stuff like that. But it's just a bit unnecessary for me. But anyway, I digress. So this is kind of HM2 Swedish death metal, but this is more chuggier, slower than, say, like Paganizer, which is another band he's in. I will show you the vinyl for this album because it is pretty damn cool. It's very unique. So that is the version I have here. I think this is Merge 2, they call it. You can see that. Sounds brilliant though. Really surprised me with all those kind of colours going on. You think it might sound a bit shit, but it sounds solid. And yeah, and album wise, the B side is my favourite off this album. Very chuggy, stompy. I enjoy it. But yeah, it's nothing new musically than you would expect from Robert Johnson. So yeah, that's number 33. Number 32 was a complete surprise for me. This was sent to me by my friend Harry. He did like a little VCLT thing for me back in the summer at some point. And that is Caven with their debut release, The Funeral Pyre. This was put out through Black Lion Records in February. I mean, yeah, really, really good melodic black metal. Kind of in that Nordic vein. Very, very memorable like leads, and this is why I really liked it. Completely new to me, this band, and it's got a lot of hype since I discovered them. There's like an LP's been pressed for them now. They're doing loads of t-shirt runs, one-man project, and yeah, it's brilliant. Really, really memorable songs, which is helpful for me because this year I've only really got into black metal properly, and bands like this are really restoring my faith in the style of music. Really, really cool album, and yeah, one you should all check out. So that's Caven at number 32. And at number 31 was an album that had so much hype behind it, it's ridiculous. And a lot of people have featured this in their top 5, which surprised me. And that is Necrot with Mortal. This came out through Taint Crimes this year and had a lot of hype behind it. And that is pretty much the reason I went and got it. Death metal, cavernous style death metal like Gorphilia, Blood Incantation, all those kind of bands. And that is the reason it's at number 31 for me. I keep remembering my numbers. Because musically, it's nothing different than those other bands I mentioned. The solos are really strong on this, and the songwriting is brilliant as well. And it's a really, really good album, really enjoyable to listen to. But for me, musically, it's not shocking. It's no different to other bands I could listen to of this style. But saying all that, artwork-wise, is killer. And like I said, the solos on it are fucking awesome. So that is number 31, Necrot with Mortal. So I hope you enjoyed that video, this video even. I will do my next part 2 with my next 10. But let me know in the comments below what you think. Was there any of these you think were a pile of shite, or some that should be higher? You know, I'm always interested to discuss that with people, because everyone's different, you know, with their opinions of bands. And I've watched a lot of end of year albums, and even though some albums feature the same as mine, they're all in different positions, which is really cool. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe and help me out and get me through and put more videos out, all that kind of stuff. But either way, take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.